Hello and welcome to the Magic of Boot 54th episode. This is Ronnie. I have Shudipta. Shudipta, we're going to talk about some of the World Cup squad that's been announced. Um, by the way, we had our previous episode being recorded, but we're going to dive deeper here a little bit and talk about World Cup.
It's our season, right?
It should be, yeah. Yeah, we should be talking about that. But we want to start at certain team. Probably we want to talk about.
Let's start with the hot favorite, Brazil.
Brazil. Sure. Just a second. I cannot. Can you share that or you wanna just read name because
Uh, yeah, I can share actually. Let me check. Can you see?
it's coming slowly. Yep, pretty evident. So yeah, let's start with the goalkeeper. No surprises. Alison
Uh,
Becker of Liverpool, Ederson of Manchester City, Waverton of Palmeiras. No surprise there.
yeah, actually, well, there are better Brazilian goalkeeper outside of these three. Not like better than them, but better than Beverton,
No, no, no.
especially.
I
But
don't, I don't
I
think so.
understand that like is from the
No, no, no. There is no better
Brazilian league. Yeah.
keeper actually than a Waverton. I've seen enough of a Waverton. I rate him really high. I think he's actually
Oh, okay.
better than. At some time, I feel he's better than Allison. Um, I've seen enough Palmeiras and have seen him saving a lot of good chances.
Actually, Allison is doing, I would say, better because like he was the one who's standing behind the collapse, like like before the collapse and uh,
Yeah,
Liverpool.
yeah, yeah. Totally. Um, in terms of defender, I mean, there is Marquinhos, obviously.
Actually, Brazil had like 25 men squad and a spiritual guide, Dani Alves.
I don't think he's spiritual though. He might play. He might
Mm,
play. Uh,
I don't see that actually happening, but okay.
he might play. So yeah, Eder Militao, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Danilo, Alex Tejes, Dani Alves, Alexandro. How do you? And also
Bremer,
Bremer of Juventus.
Juventus. Yeah.
Um,
Bremer is an interesting uh, addition. I thought, but what
is it right-footed though?
yeah, so far I'm not sure actually. Let me check.
He's right-footed though. Um, he's he's chosen over Gabriel of Arsenal.
I can understand that because uh, Tite was visiting English Premier League and he was watching some games and probably he was watching one of those mistakes uh, Gabriel made. uh, Probably. Let me check about Bremer.
But yeah, that's about the defensive team. I mean, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos are supposed to start. There's Eder Militao, and Bremer might be the fourth choice right there.
But
On the, I think on the right back situation, Danilo is still preferred.
is it going to be Danilo or Eder Militao? Because Eder Militao was playing
I think it would be
as a right
Danilo.
back.
I,
Oh,
I
okay.
I think it would be Danilo because
Danilo played well for
for
that
last couple of
last week.
matches.
Yeah,
But he's definitely someone who's not um, who can make mistakes. And same goes for Alexandro and Alex Tejes. I don't have any.
Neymar is right-footed.
Yeah, Alex Sandro, I understand for the left back because there is no other option. Alex Tejes,
Yeah, also
very
experience count.
Tejes is I don't know why he was chosen, but then again, that's
There
about it.
aren't any other option actually.
Midfield,
Um,
if we want to move,
for midfield actually, like Brazil had like a lot, especially defensive midfield. Right now, Olympic Marseille had like not Olympic Marseille, Monaco, and like s- so many French clubs has like so many outstanding um, Brazilian players. I thought actually one of them actually made it through because like the average age of the midfield
no, not really.
was
Tite doesn't include anyone he didn't actually include it for last 3 4 years. So all those players, say Pete, Fabinho, Casemiro.
Mhm.
I'm actually surprised they've taken Bruno Gomes right there, but he deserved the call. I hope he gets some playing time, but I know Fred.
but I don't see him playing because we know Tite how he is.
Yeah,
Um, and funny thing is that can you just notice this? This is the average age of the
yeah. Average age of
uh,
the team, uh,
yeah, not the team like
like the
average
players.
age of the midfielder, like
The
from Fabinho
youngest guy is there is Bruno Gomes,
24. Yeah,
and Lucas
yeah,
Paqueta is 25. I mean, he's a big guy. Lucas Paqueta is a very very important player. Everton Ribeiro from Flamengo was taken because Everton had a very very good season, and a lot of people, including Tite, is an admirer for a long time.
yeah. If you remember, he was also playing the final.
Yeah, he played in a lot of finals, to be honest. And
Yeah,
Fred, a lot of people have divisive opinion about Fred, but he's there, and he's playing with his Manchester United colleague, uh, Casemiro.
Casemiro. Yeah, but Casemiro is a fixed position for them actually. But
I think Paqueta too.
Paqueta too. So will it be a midfield three? So
Yeah,
but
it has
it,
to
it
be Fred.
yeah, but it also like depends on like mm, the Neymar's role because if he's a midfielder like a 10,
Yeah,
then there will be
he
like only
drop
two.
deep
But
and stuff like that. But then Lucas
yeah,
Paqueta gets into midfield too.
yeah.
But I doubt they'll do that against a very solid team because then that midfield would be thin.
Only one player,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, Casemiro and Lucas Paqueta, and
Yeah.
and then if you want to add third, it could be Fred. I mean, I would love to see Bruno Gomes, but I understand he didn't have any first team minutes with the Brazilian national team. I could be wrong too, but I don't think he has had game. And
They had like he only played like 8 games here,
yeah, probably as a
but most
substitute.
were a substitute. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
only played probably one or two starters.
Forward line. I mean, they had
Nine
always.
forwards:
Yeah, there's too many forwards, and Tite always like number nine. So you've taken
Richarlison and Pedro
Richarlison, Pedro, and Gabriel Jesus as
Gabriel.
number nine. Pedro scored prolifically for Flamengo this season, um,
Yeah.
and a lot of people might say, why not Firmino? I mean, how many strikers you want? You have
No, actually, like there is a big talk for Gabriel Barbosa.
Yes,
Um,
Gabriel Barbosa of Flamengo too.
yeah,
But again,
but Barbosa had this experience and everything, and so like people were more lean into him than Gabriel Martinelli. So
yeah, because
I don't know.
Martinelli gives them something very different than others, I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah,
Vinny Jr., Neymar, Anthony, Rodrigo. Rafinha of Barcelona. Obviously, we talked about.
Three right wingers. This is crazy, actually.
Yeah, I almost think it's Vinny Jr., bit of Richarlison, and probably Rafinha. That's the lineup. While
Uh,
Neymar is,
Vini Junior and Richarlison is fixed. Neymar is sitting a little bit deeper,
yeah,
and it depends. Like if they play like 4-3-3, then that would be the top three, with Neymar as a false nine or stuff like that.
yeah,
And if it's like a 4-2-3-1, then probably Richarlison, and then probably Rafinha. I'm not sure about Anthony,
yeah. But what I was, I mean,
but
he
both uh, Rafinha and Anthony is out of form right now. Anthony is a little bit, well, can I say, he's more into the games and stuff like that, but he's making unnecessary dribbles, and it
yeah.
causes some unnecessary attention in English media as well. So,
Well, it's different.
but I would love to see Rodrigo actually, in this, because Rodrigo is a different profile, and he's a little bit more direct than Rafinha and Anthony.
But he's not going to play on the uh, uh, right flank. I don't think so. Is Rodrigo is more of a backup, I see, for Neymar. If Neymar gets suspended, or like he has
But
issues on
they're
certain
not in the
games.
same. They're not playing in the same position because Neymar, like it seems like Neymar doesn't have any backup actually.
No, there's no backup for Neymar. But in case, I mean,
Yeah.
the only possible backup could be Firmino. But he was not taken
Um,
because in a
you can play
false
Gabriel
nine.
Jesus actually, because so far I have seen him in this season. Actually, he is pressing, even like dropping down and pressing as a center back
No, 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 no,
from
no.
the right. So
I don't think Gabriel Jesus can play as a false nine. He's more of a nine. So I was
no, not necessarily. Like if you seen the Arsenal games, actually, he's more like right now. He's more like a false nine because he's dropping too much deeper actually, and getting connected with, and it actually makes all sort of spaces for Martinelli and Saka to exploit it.
I'm fairly sure he's going to be on third choice in number nine
Yeah,
position.
of course.
But Martinelli is an interesting add. Um, I mean, it would be interesting if he gets any time.
Now here's this question: does this team has any how can I say weakness? If you mention, or if you think.
We talked it several times. I think there is one. It is too dependent on Neymar. I mean, it's a good thing, but if Neymar doesn't play well at that day or has suspension or injury, because Neymar was injured in the World Cup 2014, I believe. What
Yes.
Brazil would do? I mean, they have players, but there is not. They're not as winning team without Neymar.
Actually, they won Copa America without Neymar.
But that's sim distant, like 2019. Brazil have always lost against a West European quality team in knockout games.
No, no. Here's this. Hear this out. Brazil is probably going to face, if they make it. Well, they're most likely to make it through the second round. If they make it to this knockout round, then they will most likely face like teams like Spain, Portugal, Germany, or Spain or Germany, and from that side, actually, who else coming? France is in this side actually.
Well, they have to beat Switzerland to start with.
Yeah, but Switzerland is a tricky team. But I'm not going there. Like, do you think like they can beat all those teams? Because if they
That's
can
my
beat all those
question.
teams,
That's my question.
they
Without Neymar, can they do it? I
I think without Neymar they have chance. Like, because well, it depends. Like, depends on some situations. Like, for example, if they played against like Germany or Portugal, they love to sit deep and try to exploit Brazil in the counter attacks, and they can actually.
Brazil wouldn't like that. Uh,
Yeah, and the thing is that like if they play Vini Junior in those matches, that could be actually how can I say, fatal in a sense, because like Gabriel Martinelli has like more work rate than Vini Junior. Vini Junior also tends to drop down, but defensively a little bit better choice is Gabriel Martinelli, and also like Martinelli is not always like depends on the uh, pace, you know. So it's this sort of small things, you know, the team selections and everything. But this is why I'm not. I think they can actually beat all those teams I mentioned so far. You know.
well, they can. I mean, I'm not ruling that out, but Brazil, um, whenever they faced a knockout game against an West European team, have been
Yeah.
knocked out. So
Yeah.
that's
So
their,
far, yeah.
like, you can start from 2006, um, France,
They did not
2010,
play against the. Oh
20.
well, they beat Germany in the final in 2002.
I'm not talking about 2002. 2006 is France, 2010 Netherlands, 2014 Germany, 2018 Belgium. So any West European team in knockout, they have been knocked out. So they have to be prepared for that. If they can win those games, yes,
And there will be at least like two teams from Western Europe, more or less, if everything goes well.
they already have one in their group. So let's see
Yeah,
how they
Switzerland.
do with that. Uh,
But Switzerland is one of those teams. They would love to sit deep, and Granit Xhaka and every other midfielders of the team, Shakiri also,
and
they have like a good
absolutely
form
love
as well.
the Swiss coach. I absolutely like him.
Oh yeah,
Is a real tactician. But coming back to the Brazilian team,
they won against France recently, right?
Switzerland,
Or Switzerland?
yes,
Oh yeah,
yes, the beaten France.
yeah.
So there are two or three teams that people are underestimating. Switzerland is one of them. Another one is Denmark.
We'll go there.
Yeah, but coming back to the Brazilian team strength, obviously there is huge abundance of talent in the attack. I mean, some lovely players. One of the top tier players. They're very good defenders in paper too. I mean, Thiago Silva at this age, he needs to sit deep a little bit because he doesn't have that pace, but he has reading of the game and everything. But then again, how much press resistant he is, that's going to be, because very recently I've seen a game against Trossard of Belgium. I mean, of Brighton. He basically put out a shift work against Thiago Silva and every time he was winning. So, and also Casemiro too. I mean, he's not as mobile. I mean, he's a very good defensive midfielder. He's going to protect them fairly well. But Fabinho of late wasn't really in great form. If Casemiro does pick up two yellow cards in the tournament, and Fabinho have to play in the knockout games, that's going to be interesting one.
That's true actually, but
And their
Everton can play,
fullbacks.
right?
And their fullbacks, obviously, you're talking about Dani Alves may not play. Then he might play because that would be if Brazil switch back to say, I've seen Tite recently switching it to a back three, and that's
Mhm.
why he has taken Dani Alves as an almost as a midfielder, so he doesn't have to defend. And Dani Alves may play
Okay.
as a as an
Defensive midfielder or sort of like that actually in the
i-
build-up.
in the build-up. He's going to play in the build-up, and
Yeah.
that could be one of the tactical switches he makes, and
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, putting two strikers in the front, that makes sense actually. I've seen that actually from Tite.
And people who are talking about Dani Alves inclusion doesn't see that. Actually, actually I saw that, and I said, I can see that being played, and nobody is better than Dani Alves in playing
Mm.
in a more
Especially,
upward role.
yeah, especially he is still cross well.
His
So
passing
far
has
we have
been,
seen
yeah,
like 6 minutes. Yeah,
yeah, and that makes sense to include Eder Militao
yeah.
as a right-sided center back, while Marquinhos plays in the
He's
oh
aggressive a little bit more, like compared to other two.
yeah.
But that's another issue. Like, think we let's not go to the alternative. Like if Marquinhos is playing and Silva is playing, this is like two like confirmed position,
Hmm.
and like Marquinhos has a tendency to move forward and missing the defensive line. I have seen that like many times for PSG this season, many times actually. He was like the goal they conceded against Juventus. Also, they conceded one against probably Benfica. Um, they Marquinhos was missing in the defensive that line, like line of 4 or 5, whatever they called. So this is another problem for them actually. Like Marquinhos sometimes get carried away, and like he he has a tendency to how can I say, involve in this game. So does Eden Militao, but Thiago Silva is, he knows his limit and he doesn't want to play. So like the defensive line sometimes like doesn't match, you know. And also Tees, he's missing sometimes. Especially Brazilians left side is not that actually.
No,
This is one of the strongest side as well, but
attack
defensively is,
attackingly.
yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, it would be interesting. And also, I think Lucas Paqueta is very pivotal for this team. He's one of the strengths,
Yeah.
but if he gets injured in the tournament, that will be tough for Brazil to cope with.
No, let's not talk about like injury. Injury can happens to any team, but what I'm trying to say, like even they're playing with their full force, can they be beaten?
Yeah, obviously no team is perfect. There could be obviously the obvious one is we're talking about the left back and the right back situation. But then if they play back three, um, that that also can be.
Uh, I can see that actually, like what you were saying, the tactical switch, like in between, inside the match, like after like 1 or 2 goals has been scored, they can switch back to four, like uh, three in the back and then sit it out probably. But that's another issue, but that will cause like a in fury from Brazilian media because they don't like their players sitting it out, so there is always that
Well,
pressure,
1994,
uh,
they've already, I mean, except
that
Romario or
that
Bebeto,
like
everyone sit out.
nobody
Mario
nobody
Bebeto.
actually talk about that Brazilian team anymore. Even Brazilians does
No,
not.
I get that, but still, they still kind of hold that World Cup win as one of their World
Yeah.
Cup wins, right? So it's end of the day, Dunga Gilberto Silva played for um, Brazilian team, and I think 2002 we had Gilberto Silva and another holding midfielder. Um,
uh, West Ham guy.
I can't remember the name right now, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I also
yeah. But
blacked out. The
anyway,
free kick guy.
yeah, exactly. No, Juninho.
Juninho, yeah.
But Juninho is more a box to box player, winger. But yeah, let's.
Also, he's good deliverer, like sort of one of those players you can
But
like
but going back to
look to
your
yourself.
question, if there is an obvious weak spot, that would be fullback if they play back four. Otherwise, there was not much.
But what if they play back three?
Yeah, I think then there will be a question mark of the productivity of the midfield. But then if Dani Alves is playing, he can create. So that
But even with Dani Alves, there will be a question with like what does it call? Who will be in the wings? Like their fullback can go up but not down. Alexandro can do that, but
I think
if
Dani
you
Alves
if
can go
you're
up, not down. But that's 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 an issue. But I think they'll take Dani Alves
He
any
will
day.
play if he plays there. He will play as a winger more likely. But what about the other side? Because like the other side, they tends to
But
whoever playing in this position,
then it
they
complements
tends to
the
like
work.
cut in.
It complements the work of both Anthony and Rafinha because both wants to get in inverted, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All
Make
of the wingers are inverted. That's why I was talking about Rodrigo because
yeah.
he's a little bit right-footed and tends to stay there, and also like sometimes he like cut in a little bit later than Anthony and Rafinha, and also like they are not like there is this term for Anthony like one-footed pony,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. But
he's
yeah,
not like
I
that
think
actually.
there is this team is strong. There's no doubt
Yeah, of
about it.
course, like that's why I picked it like um one of the best probably attack we are seeing right now, with nine forwards and all of them can actually play, and there are still players who can actually play for Brazil who are not even in the squad.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we should move it to a different team.
Yeah, yeah, but like last question, like are they going to win it? Like
No,
how possibly?
because
How?
every top favorite team never wins the World Cup. That's the reason. Otherwise, I don't. I mean, there is a big question mark if and because of the COVID
Except
and the
2002
Nations League.
Brazil. Yeah.
COVID and Nations League made it impossible for the South American team to play against European team, right? So we don't
Yeah.
really know how Brazil is going to keep its nerve. Especially, I've seen them not keeping the nerve when they're chasing the game, when they're behind, especially against.
Also, like some players I want to mention, Casemiro can be a cool player. So does Militao. Um, Marquinhos, I have seen him losing like his cool, not like his temper, but
Thiago
he will
Silva is a
lose
very
something.
emotional player.
Thiago Silva, yeah, of course. Like if he made one mistake, he tried to like
Compensated.
outdo himself and yeah, overcompensate, and then he made another mistakes.
Neymar is a very emotional player.
Neymar is emotional player. So yeah, that is also like their.
And also Richarlison, because when I remember that final against Argentina, he had 4 or 5 chances. He couldn't
Yeah,
convert one.
yeah,
So yeah, that's the biggest question again. I mean, if in the knockout game, if they're behind, can they respond?
yeah, that's true. But let's see. We cannot actually say we are not like octopus ball. So
No, we can't. We just putting a different scenario.
yeah, of course.